The alarm bells screamed through Terra Station like angry metal birds. Captain Legio rushed to the command center, his boots hitting the floor with sharp clicks. The massive holographic display showed thousands of red dots moving toward us. Outer colonies like a swarm of deadly insects, sir. Incoming transmission from the Galactic Council, said Communications Officer Kim Dabin, her fingers dancing across the control panel. Her face was pale as moonlight, and sweat beaded on her forehead despite the cool air conditioning. Jiho nodded grimly. Put it through. The blue hologram of Chancellor Murdoch appeared, his 6 eyes blinking rapidly. His voice carried the weight of defeat. Captain Legio of Terra Station, the Galactic Council has officially surrendered to the Cathari Empire. Their fleet consists of over 10,000 warships, each capable of destroying a planet. We advise immediate evacuation of all human colonies. Engineer Park Suman looked up from her repair work, all stains on her jumpsuit. 10,000 ships. Our entire defense fleet has maybe 50 vessels, and half of them are in the repair bay. Medical Officer Choi Hannah burst through the door, her medical bag bouncing against her hip. Captain, we have civilian transports requesting emergency docking. Families are fleeing from the mining colonies on Kepler 440b. They're terrified. Through the massive viewing windows, Jiho could see the dark shapes of alien ships approaching like storm clouds. The Cathari vessels looked like giant metal scorpions, their hulls gleaming with strange purple energy. Each ship was 3 times larger than Terra Station itself. Dabon, try to reach Admiral Chen at Earth Command. Jiho ordered. Kim Dabon's hands moved quickly across her console. Static filled the room before a broken voice came through. Terra Station, this is Admiral Chen. Earth Commanders evacuating and authorized to engage. Repeat, do not engage. The transmission cut to static. Park Suman slammed her fist on the engineering console. They're abandoning us. The entire Earth Defense Force is running away. Suddenly, the lights dimmed as a massive shadow fell across the station through the windows. They could see the flagship of the Cathari fleet. It was enormous, shaped like a twisted cathedral with thousands of weapon ports glowing red like demon eyes. Smaller fighter craft buzzed around it like angry wasps. Incoming transmission from the alien fleet, Davin announced, her voice shaking. The hologram that appeared was terrifying. Commander Vextar stood 9 feet tall, his body covered in black scales that seemed to absorb light, forearms extended from his torso, each ending in razor-sharp claws. His head was elongated like a snake, with burning red eyes that seemed to look directly into their souls. Humans of Terra Station, Vextar's voice sounded like grinding metal. I am Commander Vextar of the Cathari Empire. Your pathetic Galactic Council has already knelt before our might. You will power down your weapons and surrender immediately. Resistance is futile for such a primitive species. The bridge fell silent except for the humming of machinery. Choi Hannah was treating a wounded civilian who had just arrived, her hands steady despite the fear in her eyes. Park Suman continued working on the defense systems, sparks flying from damaged circuits. Kim Dabin monitored dozens of emergency channels, coordinating refugee ships. Every eye turned to Captain Jiho. The weight of humanity's future seemed to rest on his shoulders. Outside, the alien armada stretched as far as the eye could see. Their ships moved in perfect formation, like a choreographed dance of death. Jiho stepped forward, his jaw set with determination. Commander Vextar, this is Captain Lee Jiho. I've heard your demand for surrender. Vextar's scaled lips curled into what might have been a smile. Good. You show wisdom, human. Begin powering down your... No. The word hung in the air like a thrown gauntlet. Even Jiho's own crew stared at him, in shock. Vextar's red eyes narrowed. What did you say? I said no. Terra Station will not surrender. Earth's colonies will not surrender. Humanity will not kneel. Park Suman quickly activated the station's defense grid. Energy shields flickered to life round the station. And the few operational weapon systems came online. It was like a child, raising a stick against a hurricane. But it was something. You dare defy the Cathoi Empire. Vextar roared, his furor spreading wide. Your species is barely out of the Stone Age. You have no idea what forces you face. Maybe not, Jiho replied calmly. But we know who we are. We're humans, and humans don't surrender. Across the galaxy, on 1,000 different worlds, alien species watched in amazement as the transmission spread. The primitive humans, written off as insignificant, had just declared war on the most powerful empire in known space. The battle for Terra Station was about to begin. The Cathari fleet moved like a pack of metal. Wolves surrounding Terra Station, in a deadly circle, their ships hummed with energy, weapon systems charging and glowing brighter with each passing minute, inside the station. Diplomat Song Minho straightened his uniform and took a deep breath. Captain, requesting permission to open diplomatic channels, Minho said, his voice steady despite the sweat on his palms. Jiho nodded. Do what you can. Minho, buy us time. The holographic display flickered to life, showing Commander Vextar on his flagship bridge. Behind him, dozens of alien technicians worked at strange crystalline control panels that pulsed with blue light. The Cathari commander's forearms moved in complex patterns, operating multiple systems. Simultaneously, Commander Vextar, Minho began. I am Diplomat Song Minho, representing humanity in these negotiations. Perhaps we can find a peaceful solution that benefits both our species. Vextar's scaled head tilted, his red eyes studying the human diplomat, like a predator examining prey. Negotiations. Your species has 37 minutes of predicted resistance before complete surrender. Our quantum battle computers have calculated every possible outcome. But that's just it. Minho replied with a slight smile. Humans don't always follow predictions. On the security deck, Chief Yun Tae-young crouched behind a damaged console. Studying readings from the alien ships, his team of security officers worked quietly round him, their faces grim but determined. Strange energy signatures danced across his screens like electronic ghosts. Look at this, Tae-young whispered to his deputy. Officer Lee Soong, their ships are scanning us constantly, but the patterns are weird. It's like they're trying to predict our next move before we even make it. Seong peered at the data streams flowing across the monitor. So, these aren't normal sensor sweeps. They're running probability calculations on everything we do, even our breathing patterns. Tae-young's eyes widened as understanding hit him. They're not just watching us. They're trying to calculate our future actions. Their entire battle strategy depends on knowing what we'll do next. Meanwhile, in the research lab deep within Terra Station, Dr. Kang Jisu worked frantically over a piece of alien technology. The fragment had broken off from a Cathari scout ship that had ventured too close to the station's defensive grid. The device looked like a twisted piece of living metal, covered in symbols that seemed to shift and change when she wasn't looking directly at them. Fascinating, she muttered. Running her scanner over the artifact, the material responds to quantum fluctuations. It's like it's alive, but made of pure mathematics. Her assistant, researcher Bayuna, looked up from her computer terminal. Dr. Kang, I'm seeing something strange in the energy patterns. The alien shields don't just block attacks. They predict where attacks will come from and strengthen those areas in advance. Jesu's hands flew over her instruments. That explains why their defenses are so effective. They don't waste energy protecting areas that won't be attacked. But what if? She paused, her mind racing. What if we attacked in a pattern that makes no logical sense? Back on the bridge, the diplomatic channel crackled with tension. Commander Vextar's frustration was growing more obvious with each exchange. Human diplomat, Vextar hissed. Your words follow no logical pattern. Our translation algorithms are experiencing errors. Are you malfunctioning? Minho chuckled softly. No, Commander. I'm just being human. Let me tell you a story about a turtle and a rabbit who had a race. Story. Vextaris Franz gestured wildly. This is a military engagement, not a time for fictional narratives. Our battle computers cannot process irrelevant data. The alien bridge behind Vextar erupted. In chaos, technicians' crystalline panels flickered and sparked as their quantum prediction systems struggled to analyze human behavior. Several alien officers collapsed, clutching their enlarged heads as their mental processing units overloaded. Captain, Kim Dabin called out, I'm intercepting alien communications. Their computer systems are having massive calculation errors. They keep trying to predict our next move, but our responses don't fit any of their mathematical models. Park Suman looked up from her engineering station, a grin spreading across her face. Their ships are burning through energy reserves just trying to figure us out. Some of their smaller vessels are showing power fluctuations. Security Chief Taeyong's voice crackled through the comm system. Captain, I've figured out their weakness. Their entire fleet operates on predictive algorithms. They can't handle random or illogical actions. It's like their brains are computers that crash when they encounter something unexpected. Dr. Kang Jisu's excited voice joined the conversation, and I've found how to exploit it. Their shields automatically adjust based on predicted attack patterns if we attack randomly. Without any tactical logic, their defenses would know where to strengthen. Commander Vextar's image on the screen grew more distorted as his ship's systems struggled to process the ongoing conversation. Impossible. All species follow logical patterns. Combat has rules. Strategy has mathematics. Not humans, Diplomat Minho replied cheerfully. We invented jazz music, abstract art, and pineapple pizza. Logic is just a suggestion to us. Several more Kethari technicians collapsed on the alien bridge, their processing units smoking. Warning. Lights flashed red across their crystalline control panels. The tide of battle was about to turn in the most unexpected way possible. The Kethari fleet tightened its grip round Terra Station like a metal fist. Their massive warships moved in perfect mathematical formations, each one positioned exactly where their quantum computers predicted maximum tactical advantage. But inside the station's fighter bay, something completely unexpected was about to happen. Pilot and Seekmin strapped himself into his modified mining shuttle, the Dancing Bear. The small craft had been built for hauling or between asteroids, not fighting alien superweapons. Its hull was patched with spare metal plates, and the engines made sounds like a sick animal. But Seekmin had a wild grin on his face. Control. Tower. This is Dancing Bear requesting launch clearance, he said into his headset. Seekmin, are you insane? Came Park Suman's voice through the comm. That mining shuttle can't fight those alien monsters. Who said anything about fighting? Seekmin laughed. Firing up the engines, I'm going dancing. The shuttle bay doors opened, and Seekmin shot out into space like a cork from a bottle. The nearest Kethari destroyer immediately locked onto him with dozens of targeting systems. The alien ship's weapons charged, preparing to vaporize the tiny human craft. But Seekmin did something no military pilot in the galaxy had ever done. He started flying in a pattern that looked like he was drawing flowers in space. The shuttle looped, barrel rolled, and zigzagged in ways that made no tactical sense whatsoever. On the Kethari destroyer's bridge, warning alarms screamed. The ship's quantum targeting computer, designed to predict and counter any logical flight pattern, began sparking and smoking. The alien gunners stared in confusion as their weapon systems failed to lock onto the human pilot. Target is dancing. One Cathari officer reported, his voice filled with digital confusion. Impossible, roared the ship's captain. Combat. Maneuvers follow mathematical principles. Calculate his trajectory. Unable to comply, the computer responded in its mechanical voice. Target behavior does not match any known combat algorithms. System error, system error. Back inside Terra Station, engineer Park Suman was having the time of her life. The engineering bay looked like a mad scientist's laboratory, with sparks flying everywhere and strange contraptions being welded together. She had taken apart half the station's mining equipment and was turning it into weapons, you know. Hand me that plasma cutter, she shouted to her assistant over the noise of welding torches. Suman, what are you building? Asked researcher by Yuna, dodging a shower of sparks. I have no idea. Suman laughed maniacally, attaching a mining laser to what used to be a food processor. But it's going to make a really big boom. Her latest creation looked like something from a fever dream. She had combined asteroid drill, 3 microwave ovens, a coffee machine, and the station's emergency beacon into one impossible device. It shouldn't have worked according to any known laws of physics or engineering. Suman, came Captain Jiho's voice over the intercom. Please tell me you haven't turned our kitchen into a weapon. Okay, I won't tell you that, she replied cheerfully, adding the station sound system to her bizarre contraption outside. More human fighters were launching from Terra Station. Each pilot flew in their own unique, logical style. Some traced their names in space. Others flew in patterns that spelled out jokes in ancient Earth languages. One pilot, Kim Woo-jin, was flying his fighter backwards while doing barrel rolls, just because he thought it looked cool. The Cathari fleet, designed to counter logical military tactics, was completely falling apart. Their quantum computers were overheating as they tried to process human behavior that followed no known patterns. On flagship after flagship, alien technicians watched in horror as their advanced systems crashed and burned. Commander Vextar himself was beginning to show signs of mental strain. His forearms moved frantically over his control panels, but nothing made sense anymore. How are they moving like that? He screamed at his officers. Physics has laws. Combat has rules. Sir. One of his technicians reported, the humans appear to be having fun. Fun. Vextar's red eyes blazed. This is war. There is no fun in war. Dr. Kang Jisu's voice crackled through Terra Station's communication system. All units, I'm reading massive system failures across the alien fleet. Their ships are designed to fight logical opponents. They literally cannot process what we're doing. Security Chief Yun Tae-young's team had joined the chaos. Instead of setting up defensive positions according to military doctrine, they had scattered throughout the station in completely random patterns. Some were hiding in the cafeteria, others in the garden dome, and a few were actually taking naps in storage closets. The alien boarding parties, programmed to counter organized resistance, wandered the corridors in confusion. Sir, Officer Lee Song reported to Tae-young. The alien robots keep walking into walls. Their navigation systems can't predict where our people will be because we don't know where we'll be ourselves. Captain Jiho stood on the bridge, watching the battle unfold through the main view screen. Pilot Seekman was now flying his shuttle, in a pattern that looked like a giant smiley face, while 3 Cathari destroyers chased him in circles, their weapons firing randomly as their targeting systems malfunctioned. My God, Jiho whispered, understanding dawning on his face. We're not fighting them with superior technology or tactics. We're fighting them with pure human chaos. The realization hit him like lightning. Every other species in the galaxy was logical, predictable, mathematical. They followed patterns, obeyed rules, calculated outcomes, but humans were gloriously, magnificently unpredictable. They were winning this war by being completely, utterly human. Commander Vextar's flagship bridge looked like a disaster zone. Sparks flew from overloaded quantum computers while alien technicians collapsed at their stations, their enlarged brains smoking from processing overload. The massive holographic displays showed chaos throughout the Cathoi fleet, ships spinning, out of control, weapons firing randomly, and entire squadrons breaking formation. Status report. Vex Starwood, his forearms slamming against his command console. Sir, wheezed his chief technician, holding his swollen head. Our prediction algorithms have crashed completely. The humans are behaving in ways that violate all known mathematical models of warfare. Our quantum processors cannot compute their next actions. Through the view screen, Vexstar watched in horror as three of his destroyers collided with each other while trying to chase a single human mining shuttle that was now spilling out curse words in space. Using its exhaust trail. Deep in Terra Station's research lab, Dr. Kang Jisu's eyes blazed with excitement as she worked at her computer terminal. Lines of code flowed across multiple screens like digital waterfalls. Her fingers moved faster than lightning, creating something that had never existed before. Yuna. Look at this, she called to her assistant. The Cathari ships are all connected through a quantum network. They share data instantly across their entire fleet. But that also means if we inject the right kind of chaos into their system, it'll spread everywhere. Bayuna finished, catching on quickly. Jisu grinned wickedly. Exactly. I'm creating a virus, but not the kind that destroys their computers. This one will make their prediction systems try to calculate impossible things, like asking a calculator to solve the meaning of love. Her virus was a masterpiece of human creativity. It contained references to Earth music, poetry, abstract art, and even jokes that required emotional understanding to comprehend. Every time a Cathari computer tried to process the data, it would get stuck in an endless loop of confusion. Upload ready. Jisu announced, but I need a way to inject it into their network. On the bridge, Communications Officer Kim Dabin was having her own breakthrough. She stared at the alien frequency patterns on her screen, a crazy idea forming in her mind. Captain, she said suddenly, I know how to break their minds completely. Jiho turned to her. What do you mean? Music, sir, art, everything that makes us human but has no logical purpose. Their brains are like super-advanced computers, but they can't process abstract concepts. Dabin's hands flew across her control panel, accessing Terra Station's cultural database. Thousands of songs, paintings, poems, and videos from Earth's history appeared on her screens. I'm going to broadcast everything at once, she announced. Jazz music, abstract paintings, interpretive dance videos, even those weird internet memes from the 21st century. That's insane, muttered Engineer Park Suman from her station. Exactly. Dabin laughed. Insanity is our secret weapon. She opened all communication channels and began transmitting the opening notes of Beethoven's Ninth Symphony mixed with Korean pop music, while images of Picasso paintings flashed alongside videos of cats playing piano. Poetry in 17 different languages flooded the airwaves, along with footage of humans doing inexplicably silly dances. The effect on the Cathari fleet was immediate and devastating. On the alien flagship, warning sirens screamed as crew members began collapsing en masse. Their quantum-enhanced brains, designed for pure logic and mathematics, simply couldn't process human creativity. Some aliens stood frozen, staring at holographic displays showing a Jackson Pollock painting while trying to calculate its military significance. "What is the tactical purpose of this music?" one technician asked, his voice distorted by system errors. "Unknown," replied another, smoke rising from his neural implants. "The humans appear to be creating organized sound waves with no strategic value. Does not compute. Does not compute." Dr. Jasu seized the moment. "Now," she shouted, launching her chaos virus through the same frequencies Dabon was using for the cultural broadcast. The virus spread through the Kethari network like wildfire. Suddenly, every alien computer in the fleet was trying to solve impossible equations. What is the square root of happiness? How many kilometers are in a feeling of nostalgia? What is the military application of a sunset? The results were spectacular and terrifying. Kethari warships began firing on each other as their targeting systems confused friendly vessels for abstract art installations. Their navigation computers, unable to distinguish between enemy fighters and musical notes, sent ships spinning. "Into asteroid fields, sir," screamed a Kethari officer on Vextar Bridge. "Our weapons are targeting our own ships. The computers think Destroyer Squadron 7 is a violin concerto." Vextar watched in disbelief as his mighty fleet tore itself apart. Ships that had conquered 1,000 worlds were now attacking each other because their computers thought they were looking at interpretive dance performances. "This is impossible," he roared. "Art has no military function. Beauty serves no logical purpose. How can meaningless concepts defeat superior technology?" Pilot and Siegmund's voice crackled through the chaos, still flying his impossible patterns. In his mining shuttle, "Alien Commander, want to know a secret? Sometimes the most important things in life don't make any sense at all." As if responding to his words, a massive Kethari battle cruiser suddenly opened fire on its own flagship. Its computers convinced that Commander Vextar's ship was actually a particularly aggressive jazz improvisation. The tide had turned completely. The galaxy's most powerful fleet was destroying itself, defeated not by superior weapons or tactics, but by the simple human ability to create beauty and meaning from chaos. Terra Station watched in amazement as the impossible became reality. Humanity's greatest weakness, their logical, emotional, chaotic nature, had become their ultimate strength. The Kethari flagship limped through space like a wounded animal, its hull cracked and sparking from where its own weapons had accidentally targeted it. Commander Vextar sat slumped in his command chair, his forearms hanging limp at his sides. Round him, the bridge crew worked frantically to restore basic systems, their quantum computers still smoking from the chaos virus. "Yes, sir," his chief technician reported weakly. "We've lost 60% of the fleet. The remaining ships are confused. Some are flying in circles. Others are trying to communicate with asteroids they think are musical instruments through the view screen." Vextar could see the wreckage of his once mighty armada. Massive warships drifted helplessly, their crews still trying to process what had happened to them. In the distance, Terra Station sat untouched, its lights twinkling like stars against the darkness of space. "Retreat," Vextar whispered, the word tasting like poison in his mouth. "Signal all remaining ships. We withdraw from human space." The order spread through what was left of the Kethari fleet. Ships that had never known defeat slowly turned away from Earth's colonies, their sensors still malfunctioning from exposure to human creativity. As they jumped to hyperspace, several vessels accidentally warped to the wrong coordinates because their navigation computers were still trying to calculate the mathematical value of a love song. On Terra Station, the crew watched in amazement as their impossible victory became reality. Captain Legio stood on the bridge, hardly believing what he was seeing. The galaxy's most feared fleet was running away, defeated not by superior firepower, but by human nature itself. "Captain, Communications Officer Kim Dabin said, her voice filled with wonder. I'm receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. News of our victory is spreading faster than light speed. The holographic display filled with messages from dozens of different species. The crystalline beings of Altair Prime, the plant-like creatures of the verdant worlds. Even the energy entities from the Spiral Nebula, all were broadcasting the same message. The humans had done the impossible. Dr. Kangjisu burst onto the bridge, her lab coat still smoking from her experiments. Captain, you need to see this. I'm intercepting communications from the Galactic Council. They're calling an emergency session. The main screen flickered to life, showing the Great Council chamber where representatives from 1,000 worlds gathered. Chancellor Murdoch, the same alien who had advised surrender just hours before, stood at the podium with all 6 of his eyes wide with disbelief. Fellow beings of the galaxy, Murdoch announced, we have witnessed something unprecedented. The human species, deemed primitive by our best analysts, has defeated the Kethari Empire using methods we do not understand. Murmurs rippled through the council chamber. A delegate from the machine world of Cybertron 7 raised a metallic hand. Chancellor, our computers have analyzed the battle data. The humans appear to have weaponized randomness itself. This should be impossible according to all known laws of warfare. Engineer Park Suman laughed as she listened to the broadcast. They still don't get it. We didn't weaponize randomness. We just acted like humans. Pilot and Siegmund's voice crackled through the comm system from his docking shuttle. Hey everyone, I just got back from doing victory loops round the alien wreckage. 3 more Kethari ships tried to follow me, but they crashed into each other. When I started flying the pattern for Happy Birthday, the galactic broadcast continued as more species shared their amazement. The aquatic cetaceans of Aquarius reported that their own battle computers had crashed just from reading the reports of human tactics. The hive-mind insects of Terminus Colony admitted they couldn't understand how beings could function without perfect coordination. It's like they're all connected to some giant computer network. Security Chief Yun Tae-yeon observed. But humans are the glitch in the system that makes everything go crazy. Over the following days, Terra Station became the center of galactic attention. Ships from hundreds of worlds arrived, not as conquerors, but as curious visitors trying to understand the mysterious humans. Scientists, philosophers, and military strategists all came seeking to learn the secret of human chaos theory. The Zen monks of meditation Prime sent a delegation to study human unpredictability as a path to enlightenment. The warrior clans of the Fire Worlds requested combat training, hoping to learn how to fight without following patterns. Even the ultralogical computational collective begged for access to human art and music, believing it might help them evolve beyond pure mathematics. Captain Geo found himself appointed as humanity's first official representative to the Galactic Council. The species that had been dismissed as primitive savages was now being offered membership as equals, with Terra Station designated as a protected cultural site. Sir, Diplomat Song Min-ho reported, the Galactic Council is asking if we'd be willing to share our chaos warfare techniques with other species facing the Kethari threat. Ji-ho smiled, looking out at the stars where human ships now patrolled alongside vessels from friendly alien worlds. Tell them we'd be happy to teach them. But first, they need to learn the most important lesson of all. What's that, Captain? Sometimes the best way to solve a problem is to stop trying to solve it logically. Sometimes you just need to dance. In the months that followed, Terra Station became known throughout the galaxy as the place where impossible things happened. Daily, human creativity centers opened on dozens of worlds, teaching aliens the art of thinking outside the box. Earth's music and art became the galaxy's most studied subjects, not for their beauty, but for their power to break rigid thinking patterns. The Cathari Empire, meanwhile, retreated to the far edges of known space, their remaining forces still recovering from their encounter with humanity. Commander Vexstar was last seen trying to learn human poetry, believing it might hold the key to understanding his defeat, and at the center of it all, Terra Station continued to spin in its orbit. Its crew going about their daily lives with the same chaotic creativity that had saved the galaxy. They had proven that sometimes the greatest strength comes not from having all the answers, but from being willing to ask impossible questions. Humanity had found their place among the stars, not as conquerors or subjects, but as the cosmic wild card that kept the universe interesting. The end.